Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Gadley, and some of the gloves came off. Police have been feeling the student's presence for more than a week now. Irene is finally gone after killing around 3 dozen people and leaving behind an estimated $7 billion in damage.
Elizabeth?
Kara Allen, hundreds of people have been out here in front of the Chico Walmart to learn some very valuable lessons, but also to have fun. The GPS device will give you the coordinates, but they're only accurate within about 6 to 30 feet, so it'll still take a little bit of looking before you can find the actual cache. The farmers market menu is a great way to support local growers and businesses, all while sinking your teeth into some of the freshest produce. The fire department doesn't even have enough room for all of their vehicles, and when their main engine is parked inside, volunteers can barely get to their gear. Finally tonight, more than 1,000 in Chico strapped on their running shoes and stripped off their clothes, all for a good cause. I was out there and I actually saw more of Chico than I ever expected to.
I bet you did.
A whole lot more.
And that's all for this edition of the CW Action News at 10. Have a great weekend. Classes at Chico State just started today, but police have been feeling the students' presence for more than a week now. Large parties, gatherings, and violence have had police hard at work to keep students in line. Action News reporter Derek Demo has more on how officers are dealing with the influx of students.
In Chico, I'm Derek Demo for Action News.
Police say social networking sites like Facebook have made it harder to keep up with parties over the years, but they also use the sites to their advantage to help them determine who's responsible for large gatherings. The Butte College campus was buzzing with activity all day today as students made their way back to class. Action News reporter Brian Callahan spoke with the college's new president about what the newest Roadrunners can expect to see on campus in the coming school year. Dr. Perry says she's working hard to secure grants so the school can continue to make progress despite budget problems. CHP officers are investigating a hit and run on Highway 99 in Chico as a possible hate crime. It happened just before 11:30 this morning on northbound 99 near the East 1st Avenue exit. Witnesses say 2 white men driving a light blue Chevy pickup were tailgating an African-American woman who had her 3-year-old daughter in the car in the left lane.
Stop.
Neither the woman nor her daughter were injured. CHP officials say the driver of the truck is in his 40s and his passenger in his 20s. The pickup is described as a late 80s or early 90s Chevy, license plate starting with 7L and ending in 77. Anyone with information is asked to call CHP at 879-1999. In Shasta County, a man is killed after being hit by a train. It happened around 8 Saturday morning on Lake Boulevard in Redding near Irish Road. Shasta County authorities say 56-year-old Lancelot Jackson was walking north along the tracks when a Union Pacific train came up behind him. Now, the train was coming around the curve and the conductor tried to warn Jackson, but he didn't respond and was hit by the train. He was killed instantly. A homeless man was hospitalized after he was arrested in Redding last night. Police say 48-year-old David Cavenes was sleeping in a wooded area near Wyndham Lane and South Market Street when 2 men woke him up and started beating him with sticks. He sustained several cuts to his arms, legs, and face. Police say Cavenes lost consciousness during the attack.
As to why anybody would attack him.
Cavenes is listed in fair condition. Police are still searching for the suspects. If you have any information, call Redding Police. A Butte County Sheriff's deputy accused of accepting bribes and forging jail records has made his first court appearance today. Efrain Mendoza was arrested last week after an internal affairs investigation showed the 34-year-old had taken bribes from at least 5 inmates. Investigators found evidence that Mendoza received more than $1,000 in cash payments and another $900 in tattoos in exchange for changing the community service records. Today in court, the first judge, Michael Candela, disqualified himself for an undisclosed conflict. Judge Barbara Roberts took over and denied Mendoza's request to be released on his own recognizance. His bail was set at $150,000. The Butte County Sheriff's deputy charged with driving under the influence pleaded guilty today in court. 27-year-old Stephen Giles failed a roadside sobriety test after crashing his car while exiting Highway 99 at East 20th Street in Chico in June. Giles was placed on leave after the incident and has since enrolled in a 30-day rehabilitation program. Turning now to weather, it was a nice summer day out there, so are there any changes in the forecast or should we expect more of the same? For the latest on the conditions, we check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuiper in the AccuWeather Center. Chris? Thanks, Chris. The high-tech parking meters the city of Chico has been touting for years are finally in place. One has been installed in the busy lot on West 2nd and Salem Streets in downtown Chico. Now that means drivers can use cash, change, or credit to pay for the parking in that lot. Signs have been posted everywhere to pay at the kiosk, but on Monday there were more people feeding the meters than using the new pay station.
This transition time. I mean, they'll have those meters so they can use the meters. They're bringing their quarters with them, and plus they may not be familiar with the system.
The meters that are left in that lot should be removed by the end of the week. Officials will slowly phase in other kiosks after a few months of this pilot program. The lot next to Lost Park and the lot on 2nd and Wall will most likely be the next to get the smart kiosks. Smart meters are on their way to many PG&E customers in Shasta County. Starting this month, the utility will install the meters near Boerne. Next month, they'll be put in homes and businesses in western Shasta County. Now, residents of Redding and Shasta Lake, however, will not receive meters because they're served by municipal utility districts.
So PG&E is going to be deploying meters in folks who live outside of Redding, Anderson, many of the other communities in Shasta County, as well as in eastern Shasta County.
PG&E says it's installing the meters to help customers understand and better manage their energy consumption. They can do this by viewing their hourly and daily usage online. Coming up on the CW Action News at 10, the end appears near for Muammar Gaddafi's regime, but the Libyan dictator isn't going quietly. We'll have the latest.
I was on my way out, and the clerk called me back to get my receipt.
Moments later, the gunman walked up to Timothy Kirsten, raised his 9mm pistol, and pulled the trigger. The gun misfired, so he shot again, and Kirsten fell to the floor.
When I got hit, I was out apparently for 6-8 minutes, and I got up and walked out and drove the car away.
To look at him now, you'd never know he was shot in the back of the head. The only signs left are 2 small scars, one in the back of his neck and the other in front of his ear.
It cracked the skull, and I had, I think, 5 skull fractures that went through the sinuses, and there was air in the cranium and the skull and all that. But I don't, you just get back on the horse and get going.
And that's very much Kirsten's attitude. He says not only has the ordeal made him appreciate his life, it made him stronger emotionally and physically. Through it all, he's kept his sense of humor.
Physiologically, I'm probably stronger and better than I was a year ago. Okay. I don't recommend this as a therapy, okay? In a shot therapy.
Kirsten admits that not remembering the day does make it easier to have a positive outlook.
The others were all conscious. And I went out like a light. Okay. And so I didn't have the grueling experience of being a hostage for 3 hours or 4 hours. Okay. That's an ongoing grinding trauma.
1 year later, all 3 employees who were held hostage inside this bank are still working here. They say community support is what's gotten them through it.
Boerne's always been a special branch, and the employees are very special. It says a lot about the support that they have from the community.
Pretty much everyone involved says they're focusing on the future and trying not to spend too much time looking back at the past and that fateful day.
We're feeling very good about, reaching this milestone and moving